Welcome back to HPL. We're at the PvP Live Studios in Frisco, Texas. We just saw a masterful game played by Ostkaka to get on the board here against Kranich. He's down 2-1, but you got to see a little bit why I was so excited and so looking forward to seeing him play Freeze Mage in this match.
Yeah, if you guys want to let us know what you thought of that game, you can get out there on Twitter and use that hashtag HPL, tag PvP Live in that tweet, and let us know exactly what you thought of that game. Would you have played it the same way? I don't think you would have.
Would you have Icelands?
Yeah, you can let us know exactly what you would have done. Also get on Facebook and like and comment as well over there. Share your opinions with us, and we'll be checking them out after tonight's matches and really kind of delving into those a little bit more deep. But, you know, now Ostkaka started his first step into turning this match back around, but Kranich, he's still got 2 games on match point, and it's easily still available for both of these players. But we're going to get into game 4 and find out exactly what they're doing here, this 4th one. Ostkaka versus Kranich is getting underway.
And I'm still reeling from that game. It was just so well played on both sides. And look at Kranich switching it up a little bit here. He's got this warrior deck going, and he's going to be playing a mirror match. Now, Kranich looks like he's playing more of a control warrior deck, while Ostkaka just looks like he's playing Grim Patron.
Yeah, Alex Straza pretty telling of the fact that a player is going to be, playing for a much longer game, and Ostkaka, of course, had some of those key pieces in his hand, and the Warsong Commander, of course, very telling of the fact that he's going to be playing Grim Patron Warrior in this game. So it's going to be a pretty drastic clash of styles here, and we're going to see which one of these comes out on top.
Yeah, Kranich, 2 Fiery War X's and an Armor Smith in his opening hand. Great against a lot of decks. You might not find a lot of value here early against Ostkaka. They generally don't always just run out their guys into you, but if you had something like an Acolyte of Pain, you would get a lot of value off of this Fiery War X.
Yeah, it's a pretty key card in this matchup, but only if your opponent is going to be, kind of investing resources into the board. So we're going to get a glimpse into how he wants to play this game. If he plays the Armor Smith, this may, bait Ostkaka into playing a minion earlier, and so that way he could actually get value out of these Fiery War Axes. So I like that he's playing in that same vein.
Yeah, Ostkaka's hand, not the greatest so far. He's got 2 Warsong Commanders. You only really need 1 going forward to the game. It's such an important minion, though. You usually play 2. He's got a Battle Rage that he needs to activate at some point in time. He's got this Unstable Ghoul that, again, it's like not even the best minion on this board. It, holds off this Armor Smith, but really, what is it really doing? You can get, your Battle Rage going. He does have a Death Spite, though, one of the most important cards in this matchup, and he has a Dread Corsair that he can get free the same turn as well if he wants. So he can start to set up a little bit here, but he's looking for those payoff cards going forward.
This is exactly the kind of turn that Kranich wanted to see. Going to use Fiery War X, take out this Unstable Ghoul, have a weapon back so he can continue to develop his board presence and be proactive in doing so, and going to start to chip away at his life total a little bit. Not a ton of work going to be done by this Armor Smith, but it is a little bit of a nuisance as far as Ostkaka is concerned.
Yeah, a little bit of a nuisance, and then you're going to see this turn. Not a lot of great options here for Ostkaka. He can cycle Battle Rage for 1 if he wants. He could use Coin to Death Spite and take out this Armor Smith. That's not really, super appealing. You might need this Coin further down the line to make sure you get that huge turn off, Getting it to cast 1 extra Whirlwind is really, really a big deal later in the game.
Yeah, I like that he's just being patient, armoring up. I mean, he's not facing down a lot of pressure, so every turn he gets to armor up, he is, making a little bit of headway in these matches so far. And I have to believe Kranich is going to want to do the same thing. Shield block, I think, likely to be played here, but given the fact that his hand is so low on cards and so low on options, he's free to just armor up and start padding that life total. He's in this one for the long haul since he's playing that Control Warrior deck. And Harrison right off the top, but Ostkaka's going to hunt for bigger value for weapons right now. Usually players I've seen want to nail a Death Spite with Harrison Jones and take away that Whirlwind effect from their opponent.
Yeah, if something like Harrison Jones gets drawn by Kranich here when he draws Loatheb, that would have been immediately happening. If you can ever deny them the Death Rattle from Death Spite, it's such a big, big deal in these matchups. And Kranich going to get on the board in a big way here with this Loatheb. Yeah,
I actually really like the Loatheb here. It does deny away some Coin Emperor Thorus on turns that Ostkaka might have. And given the fact that now he's facing down this Loatheb, I think there's a very high chance at this point he feels comfortable playing the Harrison Jones just to get a threat on board to challenge this Loatheb straight away. Because I don't necessarily think he wants to use his Death Spite in this position.
Yeah, you just drew a second Death Spite, so maybe things might change now since it's just a clean answer to this Loatheb. And then you get to Harrison Jones to play, draw a card, and you're making the onus back on Kranich to start to have to deal with you here. Though Kranich does have 4 armor here, so maybe give him a pause, because something like Shield Slam is just a 1-mana answer to Harrison Jones going forward.
Yeah, the other thing to note too is that if he chooses to play the Harrison Jones here and he doesn't play something behind this, a really big swing effect can come in with something like a Death Spite at that point. Kranich can just play Death Spite, set it up on this Harrison Jones, and then he's left wondering, should I have played this Harrison Jones quite straight away? So I love the fact that he's coupling the Dread Corsair with this and making sure that it's protected from something like Death Spite.
Not just protecting him from Death Spite, but it's actually kind of a backdoor into the Battle Rage as well. It gives him a minion with the damage on it. And next turn he's going to be able to draw 2 cards off of this Battle Rage if he wants. And at this point in the game, that's something he's actually in for. 2 mana for 2 cards, he's fine with that. You don't always need to draw 5 cards off it, but Kranich is going to deny that from him.
Yeah, I love that Kranich is continuing to attack this board position. Ostkaka's hand starting to get very, very dangerous. I mean,
Yeah,
anytime Frothing Berserkers are coupled with Whirlwinds, you have potential for massive turns to be available.
He's still a few turns off. You know, Kranich is at 32 now. If he gets a Warsong Commander going with like a Death Spite, a Whirlwind, a Frothing Berserker, he still needs a Grim Patron to, you know, get all of that extra damage going. If he gets that going, he can get it going. He can win from there forward, but he needs something like Emperor Thorson or Grim Patron to really, really get going from the spot.
Yeah, so Deathspite going to be the play. Going to set it up for the coming turns here, then continue to armor up a little bit. So these guys kind of just trading cards back and forth so far. But, you know, as far as the big card, you know, who's winning that advantage right now, I have to believe it's Kranich. If Ostkaka can put Gorehowl in Kranich's deck, I haven't seen that card in a very long time. And if he can put, kind of going back to the point, if Kranich could put himself at a life total where he's very safe and then start getting value from his threats, this game could easily be in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, Kranich has actually got a couple good lines to him over the next turn. He can do something like Shield Maiden or Sludge Belcher and armor up this turn. And then he gets Ragnaros next turn. Now, he's actually just daring Ostkaka to use his weapon to clear out the Shield Maiden this turn. I like this from him, and it doesn't leave behind a minion that gets picked off by Grim Patrons and lets them spawn extra ones like the Sludge Belcher would. And he's also setting himself up to start getting huge Ragnaros turns, because if you can put the Grim Patron deck into the spot where it needs to answer Ragnaros, that is not a spot it wants to be in.
Yeah, it was outside of execute. It really doesn't have an efficient way to do it. And kind of looking at Ostkaka's
or
hand.
20 power Frothing Berserkers.
Well, you know, that's usually the way they answer the face on that position. But, you know, kind of in this spot, not a lot of minions that he can actually develop in this game. So the fact that he's having to answer these kind of one by one, I think this is playing right into where Kranich wants to be. And Ostkaka, he's not going to deal with the Shield Maiden. He thinks that taking 5 damage is totally okay.
Yeah, I mean, he had the option of playing Armor Smith that turn, attacking the Shield Maiden, and gaining an armor, drawing 2 cards off of a Battle Rage there. But it's just not enough value, not exactly what he's going for. He knows exactly what he's trying to do, and holding onto this Deathspite is going to help him out a ton. If he needs to, he can get a damage on this Ragnaros going forward and use this execute to take care of it. Yeah, I was supposed to say, I have to believe that Kranich is
it's coming down straight away.
The
8
Fire
points
Lord.
Of damage is going upstairs along with that Fiery War Axe. Wants that Gorehowl damage in there as well. And Ostkaka,
well, it gets him to 12, and you have the Gorehowl plus Shield Maiden is lethal next turn. Ostkaka needs to answer a lot of things, or he's out of this match right now.
Yeah, honestly, with the Emperor Thorson and Armor Smith draw, though, now this hand's looking mighty beautiful. You're talking an Emperor Thorson, Armor Smith, attack with the Deathspite, and then execute afterwards. I mean, this could be a spot where he's recovering this game, despite the fact that he's been under so much pressure from the way that Kranich has been curving out.
Yeah, you can go Emperor Thorson, play Armor Smith, attack the Deathspite to the face here if you want. I was about to say, you can clear out this minion as well. There's a couple of different things he can do here, but he didn't Armor Smith here.
Oh my gosh, Ostkaka is dead to Gorehowl. I have to believe that's one of the last cards he was expecting from Kranich's hand, and the fact that he's taken a little bit too much damage here is going to make sure that Kranich wins this match.
Wow, Kranich gives him the well played. He's going to Gorehowl him from here. This is not something we've seen in a long time, something I expected to see anytime soon. Kranich with a little bit of flair here for the win over Ostkaka.
Innovative choices, throwing his opponents off guard and able to pick up the win in this game very easily as a result of that. What a beautiful series from him, you know, able to kind of put Ostkaka on the back foot at every step of the way. And, you know, outside of that Freeze Mage game, Ostkaka really didn't have anything going for him. He had positions where maybe he could have recovered, but he'd have to take these, you know, a little bit of risk here and there. I think that turn I would have liked to see him avoid that risk. I don't necessarily think he needed to take it, but he wanted maximum value from that Emperor Thorson. That's why he chose to play it that way and ends up paying the iron price.
Yeah, if he has the Emperor Thorson there and really gets to move forward, nice Game of Thrones reference, but if he gets to move forward there with the Emperor Thorson, he gets to make his entire hand cheaper, and he can actually start winning over the next turn or two from there, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to find a line to win from there, but he didn't really have a chance since Kranich took that away from him with that Gorehowl for the win.
And if you guys want to check out the recap from this game, you can head over to pvplive.net and see it for yourself. The strategies that they queued up and how they chose to play them. Kranich able to be a pretty major aggressor in these games and keep Ostkaka on that back foot. He wasn't able to handle all the pressure that Kranich was throwing his way. We're going to have a winner's interview with him very soon here in a moment, as soon as we get him available. But, man, what a beautiful match from him. Ostkaka had that wonderful game with Freeze Mage, one of the best ones I've ever seen. But, you know, one game isn't enough to take a series. You got to put up 3.
Yeah, you got to put up 3, and you know we saw him play that amazing game with Freeze Mage there. God, who would have Ice Lance there? Not a lot of us, and he did, and he ended up getting the win because of it.